Hey everyone, I'm Mark and today I'll be reviewing the game 20XX, which has just gotten out of early access on Steam. Let's start things off by talking about gameplay. 20XX is heavily inspired by the Mega Man franchise, in particular Mega Man X. It's upfront about this and the game doesn't feel like a rip-off or clone. It feels like its own beast while reminding you of a time when games like these reigned supreme. 20XX is a roguelike side-scrolling action platformer. Basically, it's a randomized version of Mega Man X. You can choose one of two characters, one with a cannon and the other with a sword, as you explore levels using your various platforming skills and acquired abilities. There are usually multiple paths to a single goal, and mastery of dash jumps and wall sliding is usually the key to progress. You take very minor damage from being hit or missing a jump, but it all stacks up as a single death on normal difficulty resets the entire game. There are a few permanent upgrades that can be earned between lives, but they shouldn't be relied upon too heavily. It rarely feels unfair, which is good considering the random algorithms in place behind the scenes. There are 8 major random bosses and 10 levels in the game, and much like the Mega Man series, they test your platforming and fighting skills. Some bosses are better than others, and one in particular just feels like a mismatch for the game. Upon defeating a boss, you are given a choice of rewards. You can gain their weapon and use it in future stages, much like the traditional Mega Man formula, or you can choose from 2 other stat or currency bonuses. The loot system in general was very interesting, as you could get minor upgrades to your health or energy, or major upgrades to your fighting or movement skills. At one point I could dash in the air in 4 different directions, and another I swapped my sword for a long-reaching spear. It changed the way I approached certain situations, and no single run played the same. There is co-op, which I found strange in a game like this, and it is recommended to play with friends locally as this genre isn't that multiplayer friendly. The only story in the game is minor and purely used for setting up the gameplay, so I won't be discussing it like other games. Instead, we'll jump right into presentation. 20XX from a distance looks almost identical to Mega Man X, which is definitely high praise as not many games can capture that look. However, once you get a bit closer, 20XX starts to carve out its own identity with its own hand-drawn cartoony art style. Nina looks like an alternate Mega Man, while Ace looks like a disposable enemy model. I found that the enemy designs weren't varied enough, as you'll be seeing a lot of the same levels and foes every single life. The environments are a little repetitive as well, as there are only 3 or 4 major variations on a level, with the rest being platform and enemy placement. It's not the focus of the game, but part of Mega Man's charm was how each stage was visually distinct from the others and they matched the boss. The roguelike nature of this game doesn't allow for this, which I understand, but it's still something I would have liked. The bosses feel like a mix between regular mid-bosses from the X series and proper Maverick encounters, which was strange as again the random nature can get things a little too mixed up. The weapons and bullet effects look like they're straight out of a Mega Man title, which is great. There are also a few fun twists on the powers acquired from bosses too. The soundtrack is again another throwback to a simpler time, and it fits the game well enough. There isn't any real voice acting apart from a few pained grunts, and it's not necessary either. It's the same kind of approach games had in the Super Nintendo era, and it works. 20XX is a lot of fun. It has lasting appeal for trying to uncover all the different hidden weapons and boss abilities. It's also great in short bursts, as you can play for half an hour on a single life and feel like you've made real progress. It makes the losses all the more brutal, but I never felt defeated for long. It's a good distraction and feels like it's paying respects to the genre. 20XX is not a perfect game, and it knows it, but it does the best that it can with what it has. The developers managed to make a game feel like a Mega Man title, when others only borrow elements or try too hard to change something drastic. I enjoyed my time with the game, and I felt like each run I got a little bit better, and also a little more reckless. It's also at an affordable price point, so I'd say 20XX is worth a buy from me. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned to GameCast for more great gaming content. You can also find GameCast and my social media links in the description below. Now, I'm pretty sure I can make this jump.